Everyone, welcome back to the vlog. Glad to see you. Hope you're having an amazing day during coronavirus quarantine 2020. So I thought today would be a great day, since I got the wheels on, to come up with a list of things I don't like about the R8 because I like it so much. And it proved really daunting to figure out what I don't like about this car because I really like it a lot. So anyway, I figured, let's delve into it. I only could think of 3 things. I was hoping for a video titled 5 things, like everybody else seems to find a minimum for, but I could only find 3. If you haven't yet checked out my Volvo video, I easily came up with over 10 things I hated about the Volvo XC90. That was an easy one. But 3 for this one, that was even tough. So anyway, without further ado, give you a little bit of B-roll of the car, and then we'll jump into it. Number 1, the cockpit. It's really fantastic, but one complaint after seeing how modern some of these cars are really getting, including the Corvette C8, it has the really cool modern center console, you would say, with all the buttons and different geometries in there. This cockpit's pretty simple, but I still love it. I'm sure that the next generation of the R8 will be a little bit more modern with the driver instrument display will be probably a little bit more high-tech, but yeah, look, I'm not complaining, but it probably could use a little bit of updating to the technology. Number 2, the name. Not R8, not Audi, not even R8 V10, but Plus. Come on, guys. Your sister company came up with a great name for the enhanced model of the Lamborghini Huracan with the Performante. Great Italian name. Why Plus? It doesn't make any sense. That's probably really the truly only thing I really don't like about the car is the word plus. It just seems silly, but I'm not going to harp on it. Last item. The car does not come with an optional lift. Basically everything else in its class, including Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and now the C8 Corvette, all come with an optional lift. Some of them might even be standard. So it would be nice to have that lift so I could go and lower this car without having any issues. Or maybe it would be low enough if it had that system. So anyway, that is my third and only final gripe of the 3 gripes I have with the car. And they're not even that great of gripes, but just thought I'd put it out there for informational purposes. So since the 3 things I hate about the R8 video was kind of short, I figured I'd do some point of view driving. One of my viewers had commented and asked that I do this, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Now my tires aren't fully heated up, so I can't do full send, but we're going to send it until we hit the red light. See, I'm not even heated up yet. I'm at the 6,000 RPM red line. That'll change in a minute though. So under quarantine, obviously there isn't a whole lot to do. We're gonna go and grab some lunch, and I think we're just gonna head home. It's really quiet on the roads. I don't have any other mods to do either, so I'm just gonna kind of hang out around South Florida. Maybe do a little drive along A1A. So a little quirk about this car is when you operate the paddles, it throws it into, here I'll show you this, M1 mode or M5 mode, whatever gear you're in, and it won't come out of there until you do this. And then it puts it back into an automatic mode. So it's kind of interesting. It really does become a true automated manual when you go into M mode, and then it becomes a true automatic dual clutch when you put it back into the, what this is S6 for Sport 6. Now if I pull this back again, it puts it in a D6, which makes it a little bit more docile or comfortable. It's just a standard drive mode. So just wanted to share that with you too. But I like it in S mode because that opens up the exhaust valves, makes it a little bit meaner, and makes the shifting a little bit more aggressive too. It doesn't make it meaner, it makes it sound louder. You know, it's kind of interesting. My last real sports car, other than the M5, which is more of a sports sedan, was a 2005 Maserati Grand Sport. I didn't have the channel back then, so I wasn't able to get any video, but that had the Ferrari 430 block in it, which was standard. And what I did to it, it was a V8, and what I did to it was I took out the secondary cats and straight piped it with these Larini pipes. They're really beautiful exhaust pipes, and it took out a bend that was in the stock pipes under the car, and man, that car sounded amazing. I really wish that I had some video of that, or audio. That to me was one of the best sounding cars ever. I love how this car sounds, but I really loved how that car sounded. Now this car will shake the structure that that it's parked in. The other car would shake it a little bit, but not as much as this. This one actually really has a ton of vibration with those two extra cylinders. Let's get some pops. See, I'm out of the rev limiter now. Switch hands so I can manually shift. Personal preference, and I'd love to know your thoughts too. My personal preference is to have the paddles mounted on the steering column instead of on the steering wheel, because then you always know where those paddles are. If you're able to be a contortionist and twist your arms so that they always stay at 9 and 3 on the wheel, then yes, you always know where the paddles are. But on cars where it's mounted on the steering wheel, I just find it harder to determine where they're at. So I often find myself in automatic mode, so I don't have to contend with that. Now, the Maserati I had, it was mounted on the paddles were mounted on the column, like a lot of Ferraris and Maseratis do, and I found that I never ever had that car in automatic mode. In fact, it wasn't good for the clutch to have it in automatic mode, so I didn't, and I found that interesting. So my oil change resulted in this warning coming on often, followed by this warning. And I keep adding oil and oil and oil. Not a lot, but maybe a quarter of a quart. And I keep getting this warning literally every time I drive it. So I might have to take it into the dealer. I don't want to keep adding and adding and adding oil, and next thing you know, I'm overfilling this car, although it does have an overfill sensor as well. So I think I'm going to add a quart of a quart one more time, and if that doesn't do it, that will have meant that I have added an entire quart to it since my issue, and they actually overfilled it at first, and then they tried to fix it, and sorry, waiting for this person to cross. And then they retrieved through, I guess, a scavenger pump. They retrieved some of the oil out of there, and I think they took too much out. And now I'm just like continuously dealing with this issue. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. So you can see the ominous red sign saying way too low, way too low. I don't know how I can be way too low if I keep adding oil to it, but anyway, we'll figure that all out. Looks like fall with the yellow blossoms, which aren't leaves. What's nice about this car is you can drive it, subtly, or you can drive it really aggressively. And I've noticed with the Vorsteiner wheels that I just added, and if you haven't seen that video, check the link below to see a link to the channel and the other videos. The steering is so much lighter. The unsprung weight must have came off maybe a few pounds each wheel. I'm not sure. I didn't do a before and after weighing, but it just does feel lighter and more nimble. McLarens, you can shift either of the paddles. What's wrong with me today? I'm not like speaking intelligently. Must be all this like Corona scare in the air. But yeah, on this one you'd be able to push it away from you, and that would take it negative, or pull, it would take you up a gear. So kind of interesting how McLaren does that. And I think if you'll watch my supercar delivery video, again, link in the description below to the channel, you'll be able to see how I decided on this car in particular over McLarens and Lambos and Ferraris. So please check it out. Send it. It's not a full send, but we still are on a city street, so I don't want to go crazy. Very quiet for Saturday. I'm officially in Boca Raton right now. It is 87 degrees out. Pretty warm for March. If you hear a little rattle, that's just my house keys that I've put in the pocket when I got in the car, the door pocket. The car doesn't have any rattles. Very pleased with the fit and finish. people who, not everybody is doing this to take pictures, but you do get people who try to catch up with you just to grab some pictures or check out the car. I love when they do it to catch pictures of the car. I don't like it when they're driving aggressively, maybe to prove a point or something. But I do love when people want to grab pictures of the car. It's fun. Alright guys, well I'm going to go grab some lunch. Thanks for riding along with me. If you want to browse the channel, I put a link below. You can see some of my other updates, and feel free to make any comments. I do review all of my comments, and I try to reply to everybody. Thanks, appreciate you viewing.